Hey everybody, and welcome to Meals with Melissa, where we take some of the things that you love to eat and we make a healthier version, and obviously it's got to be a little bit uncomplicated, because I just don't do complicated. Oh, I totally forgot my apron today. That's okay. This is a great recipe, you guys. You know, I love bread. Can't be helped. I mean, who doesn't love bread? Problem being is that, I know, honey. Problem being is that, you know, most of us really would do better with going gluten-free, which, of course, I have to go gluten-free because I do have an autoimmune disease, so I have to make sure that I'm eating healthy for my body. So, super, super simple. Now, the first thing that I'll tell you is you're going to want to order some muffin rings. They're super inexpensive. I think I paid like $6, $7. I ordered them on Amazon, but that will help you to shape your English muffins. So, I'm going to use those today. I've preheated my oven to 350. It's ready to go. Then I'm going to throw my ingredients together, and it's super simple. For most of us that are trying to go a little bit healthier, you really need to have a good alternative to flour. So we keep a lot of coconut flour and almond flour in my household because we use it quite frequently. Now, I know that it's really difficult, especially if you're just starting to eat a little bit healthier, to start changing out different nutrients and different ingredients for things you're not used to. But when it comes to the overall health of your body, you know, you want it to, not that you want to age gracefully, but you want to feel good as you do age. And so part of it is treating your body well. So if we can find alternatives that work well for us, that's going to be our optimum. Okay, so I've preheated my oven. I've also greased my oven, my muffin rings with just a little bit of grass-fed butter. Just to make sure they don't stick. And in between the little circles, I have put them on a pan with a little bit of my favorite tool, which is parchment paper. You can also use a silicone mat, which I do have, but parchment paper works great. And you're going to sprinkle a little bit of the almond meal or the almond flour in the rings so that they don't stick while they bake. So we'll do that really quick. I like to have these things ready to go, so all I have to do is scoop and throw them in the oven. So to my bowl, I'm going to add, now again, I'm doing a half batch. I made a half batch last night. They turned out awesome and they taste good, which is great. So I'm going to do 3/4 cup of the almond flour. And to that, I'm going to add 3 eggs that I've already beaten. Now, not egg whites, eggs. This is a great recipe for somebody who is trying to go a little more low carb. I don't believe in going low fat. Your body needs healthy fats, and when you do go low fat, you actually do yourself a real big disservice. So if you're keto, I don't know if this works with that. I'm not a huge fan of keto in most circumstances, so I don't tend to do that, but I do carb cycle. So I'm going to add the whole egg because otherwise it's just not going to turn out as well. I'm going to add 3 whole eggs to my bowl. Okay, and to that I'm also going to add 3 tablespoons of melted grass-fed butter. Now in this day and age when, you know, a lot of us, I know some people choose to go vegan and vegetarian because they really are not happy with the way that the animals are treated. I get it. I still tend to go a little more on the side of utilizing, you know, proteins, but I do believe in going grass-fed as much as possible. So I prefer, honestly, the Kerrygold butter. I'm going to melt that and add that to my batter. Okay, it's not even that many ingredients, you guys. It's so easy. To that, I'm also going to add 1/2 tablespoon of baking powder. That's my leavening agent to make them rise just a little bit. So I'm going to add that. Okay, as well as a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, just to give that a little bit, you know, seasoning to it. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do. And I'm going to, now we use sea salt in my household. It's just a better option, a little bit healthier. You do need a certain amount of salt. Now I find it really fascinating. I work with a lot of people who believe that, you know, we're supposed to completely cut salt out of our diet, which isn't 100% true. The standard American diet obviously contains a lot of sodium, and I get why we're being told that, but if you eat really, really clean, you actually need to add salt to your food because that's what's involved in your electrolyte balance. It's salt, water, magnesium, potassium. Those things are important. So I'm gonna take a fork and I'm just gonna mix those up really, really well until they're combined. It'll take a second, but it'll get there. It's really not too bad. Mix that up. I've also got a rubber spatula just to make sure that I can kind of scrape the sides. I'm gonna turn down. I've got some butter going on the stove because I'm gonna toast these in just a second. So let me turn that down. Don't want it to get too messy there. Okay, so I'm actually going to stick those in my ring molds. I'm just gonna use a spoon and make sure that I have, this half batch makes 4. So a full batch actually makes 8 muffins. This is a great one made for your family. Not gonna lie, the best thing to put on there, you can put on some sugar-free jam. You could put a little bit of almond butter. That sounds so good right now. Again, just make sure that they do fit your macros if you have a specific goal going on, because this is a little higher in fat than some options. But again, that's because we're going low carb. All right, so I'm just gonna make sure that these are about the same in each ring mold. Just kind of portion it out here until it's ready to go, okay? And then I'm gonna bake these in the oven for about 20 minutes, okay? And I'll get that done in just a second here, but I wanna show you what they're gonna look like. About 20 minutes till they're lightly browning on top. You gotta be careful, you wanna make sure they don't burn, but this is what they're gonna look like. So they turn out super cool. I know they're a little bit different than a regular English muffin, but most of us are so used to the commercially made ones. And of course, these are homemade and a lot better for you. So what I'm doing is I've actually heated a little bit of grass-fed butter in my pan. Okay, put that back on my stovetop. And I'm just gonna toast each side until it's a little bit golden brown in that grass-fed butter. Again, it really depends on what your macros are as to what you're gonna put on it. You know, I would stay away from things like margarine. You know, even, I can't believe it's not butter, which I used to use liberally. We don't use it at my house anymore because it is more, it's a polyunsaturated fat. It's something that's not really healthy for you. It contains vegetable oil, which again, we don't use a lot of in my household. We really try to go with the healthy fats, the olive oil, the macadamia nut oil, coconut oil.